How's it going, everyone? As I've been mentioning, this week is going to be a juggernaut week as far as new game reveals and updates are concerned, and one title that I've been waiting to hear more about is Dying Light the Beast. Well, now we have it confirmed. Dying Light the Beast is coming to Summer Game Fest on Friday. Incredibly excited about that. On top of that, we've got a leak on another game and its pre-orders opening up. We already know that the game is going to see a big showcase this weekend, but we'll talk about that. And look, we're going to talk about some major games. Why not give some shine to some lower key titles as well? Anima Gate of Memories 1 and 2 getting a remastered collection on modern platforms. We'll talk that at the end of this video. So we'll get to that at the end. Obviously a lower key release, but still thought that was worthwhile to mention. So Dying Light the Beast, the official Twitter account did note, are you ready? In just 3 days, you'll see Dying Light the Beast gameplay's premiere trailer during Summer Game Fest on June 6th at 2 p.m. Pacific to 11 p.m. CST. That's 5 p.m. Eastern. I would imagine that the game will get a date as well. It's scheduled to come out relatively soon. I imagine 2025. This is a standalone expansion kind of a game. Now, initially it started off as a piece of DLC for Dying Light 2, then it spun into a standalone game, but if you bought the Dying Light 2 Premium Edition that included both of the upcoming DLCs, you got Dying Light the Beast included in that. But if you didn't pick up the Ultimate Edition, I believe it's going to end up being like a $50 game. I would have to imagine it's going to be around that range, and I don't know, Techland, I don't know if you've set the price point on this yet. Seems like $50 games are getting a lot of positive buzz right now, and a major franchise like Dying Light getting a $50 game, a game that we've heard is gonna have 18 to 20 hours of content as well. Like, I think that would do you a lot of good. I'm just throwing that out there, If you're unfamiliar with the game, The Beast is a thrilling standalone zombie adventure set in a tightly crafted rural region. It is an open world, but a bit of a tighter open world, which I am totally down for. If you hear me talk about open world games these days at all, you know that's gonna be right up my alley. Play as Kyle Crane, a legendary hero who breaks free after years of brutal experiments. Now he must realize that there's more at stake than just revenge. It's a thrilling standalone zombie adventure set in the post-apocalyptic Castor Woods, a once-populated tourist destination after 13 years of enduring experiments. You escape and hunt down your captors to seek retribution, only to discover there's far more at stake. While the region is not as populated as it once was, there are still people and factions here, as well as plenty of horror. Some will ask you for your help, others will want to kill you, and that's not to mention the mysterious creature that's turned the woods into its personal hunting ground. Become the legendary hero. You are Kyle Crane, the man whose selflessness during the initial virus outbreak saved many from a fate worse than death, and after more than a decade in captivity, you find yourself in a world that's changed and not for the better. Now you'll need to use the survival skills that kept you alive all those years ago to save even more innocent lives. Explore a tightly crafted open world. Welcome to Castor Woods. This once bustling tourist destination is home to diminishing numbers of survivors and an increasing population of zombies, featuring natural landmarks, small villages, and industrial complexes. The setting offers diverse traversal options, whether it's using your parkour skills to gain the upper hand on your enemies or hopping into an abandoned 4x4 to outrun the horrors of the night. Unleash the beast, they caged you like an animal. Years of brutal experimentation took its toll, but the zombie DNA and yours are now intertwined so that you are able to unleash a beast-like power. It flows through your veins, no one can take it from you. Use it and you'll discover it's not just a curse. Savor the day, outlast the night. The day brings many possibilities to explore the region and make the most of your time while the sun is still out, but after sundown, the laws of nature take their course. Darkness tends to bring out the worst in the horde, leaving you with no other choice but to run, hide, or fight. Surviving is easier in 4-player co-op as well. Team up in 4-player co-op or ride solo if you have the guts to take it all on your own. Again, I imagine it'll be dropping in 2025. Now, it'll be interesting if we also do get an announcement of a Switch 2 version. Dying Light 2 has not been announced for Switch 2 yet, but I totally expect that to come to Switch 2, given that Dying Light 1 was one of the more impressive showcases of the Switch. And the Beast is going to be coming to PS4, PS5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series. It's a cross-gen game. Bear in mind, it started off as an expansion to Dying Light 2, which was also a cross-gen title. Have a lot of high expectations for it. I love Dying Light 1. I also really enjoyed Dying Light 2. Maybe not as much as Dying Light 1, but I still thought Dying Light 2 from a verticality standpoint and a gameplay standpoint turned out to be great. I thought narratively it kind of lost the plot by the second half, but I think Dying Light the Beast is going to turn out very well. And if it goes with that $50 price tag, I think it would behoove them. I would do some sort of complete release. I get that, you know, it's a standalone release, but maybe do a bundle or something like that, and I think people will gravitate towards that as well if they have yet to check out Dying Light 2 as well. But excited to finally get some info on Dying Light the Beast. I could see that out, you know, September, October, around that time frame. Makes a lot of sense to me. So more on that during Summer Game Fest. Certainly will be covering that. Alright, moving on from that, The Outer Worlds 2 is going to get its gameplay presentation following Xbox Game Showcase. So it's going to be following Xbox Game Showcase, and then it's going to be the Outer Worlds 2 Deep Dive. I actually quite like this Microsoft formula of during their showcases, they'll do the showcase, and then after that, it's a deep dive into their games. There was the Starfield Direct that was right after the Xbox Game Showcase in, I believe, 2023, and then I think they had a Call of Duty, a Black Ops 6 one last year or something like that. Outer Worlds 2 getting that spotlight this year, I think it makes a lot of sense because Outer Worlds 2 is one of those games I think needs the spotlight. Look, Outer Worlds 1 was a game that people liked, but it's not this blow-away game that people were super into, and it's not one of those games that I think everybody was clamoring for a sequel of. Now, though, you've got Outer Worlds 2, you've got a game that, by all accounts, is much bigger and has way more depth than the first title, and doing a deep dive of the game will give people a little bit to sink their teeth into as far as how much more depth than the first game does it have. The first game was a little bit smaller in scale. I actually really appreciated that about the first game, because with so many gargantuan open world games these days, something a bit smaller in scale is right up my alley. But what Outer Worlds 2 offers, we'll see that in the deep dive, and pre-orders are scheduled to open up following the deep dive. I really am curious if this is going to be a $70 or $80 game, given that Microsoft is moving towards an $80 price tag. They have said as much. It's going to be on Game Pass right away. We'll see if they do the fake early access gimmick with Outer Worlds 2. Avowed had the fake early access gimmick. That was the other Obsidian developed title, so that's where I'm bringing the point up from. And a lot of the Xbox published games have the fake early access. Starfield had it. Just a lot of these games do end up having it. So we'll see if Outer Worlds 2 has it. But as far as its performance on PlayStation 5, $80 I think is going to push a lot of people away from picking up Outer Worlds 2. That's just my 2 cents on that. But lastly, I do also want to note Anima Gate of Memories 1 and 2 Remaster have been announced. Now, this is, Anima is a game that I've covered on this channel a little bit, so obviously I had to pop a little bit whenever I saw the Remastered Collection get announced. These games are super janky action RPGs, very reminiscent of like the PS2 era of video games, but there's a level of charm to that. The voice acting is absolutely atrocious, comedically so. Now, I say it's funny because I am of the mindset that people are spending like a couple dollars to play Anima because it's been that price on the PlayStation Store so many times. Paying full price and getting janky voice acting like that probably wouldn't be ideal, but Anima wasn't released at a full price one, and I imagine the most you could price this collection at would be $39.99. I think no way should you be spending $40 on it, but I could see them pricing it at $39.99. It features remastered versions of Anima and the sequel Gate of Memories, The Nameless Chronicles, and you'll have enhancements as well. Explore a rich fantasy universe inspired by Anima fantasy tabletop RPG saga filled with deep lore, fast-paced combat, and branching storylines shaped by your choices, whether you're new to the saga or returning. This is the ultimate way to discover the world of Anima. A deep story, a combat system which combines RPG elements and fast-paced action, unleash spectacular and dynamic move chains with the dual system, seamlessly switch between characters, which actually mechanically was a pretty interesting gameplay style. An interconnected world full of unique locations made of memories. Each character has a large set of special skills that you'll be able to develop and customize as in a traditional RPG. So that'll be dropping sometime later this year. But that's going to do it for me. Again, big updates on Dying Light the Beast. Excited for that, and I think that's going to be a standout this year, especially if it's at a $50 price tag. Speaking of price tags, Outer Worlds 2 is one of those games that I would be very concerned if it's at an $80 price tag. It's going to be in Game Pass at the end of the day, but $80 I just think would be crazy. Anima Gate of Memories 1 and 2 will be getting a remastered collection later this year. That's going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below. Sound off there. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.